Salutations, people of the internet. Welcome to the database, and welcome to the 2026 month of Sponge, where I cover anything SpongeBob related for the month of May. First off, I want to say that I apologize for the long hiatus these past few months, because a ton of stuff has happened in between those times. I just recently graduated from university, and I'm in the midst of moving and unpacking at my new place. Now that I finally settled down, I think it's a good time for me to get back in the swing of things, and what better way to return to make more content on this channel than celebrating SpongeBob for an entire month. Like before, there will be 2 Month of Sponge videos this year. This one will cover SpongeBob's latest 3D platforming adventure that was released last year. The other video will be another countdown. Purple Lamp Studios returned for the 3rd time after the success of Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and the Cosmic Shake, and a new 3D platformer that features Patrick Star as a playable character for the first time since the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. We'll save the Patrick Star game for another video. For now, let's take a look at 2025 SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide. The story begins with the Flying Dutchman going to the Krusty Krab, who are hosting a special event. Immediately after, King Neptune arrives at the Krusty Krab and decides to cut into the front of the line because royalty privileges. This scuffle angers the Flying Dutchman, and he and King Neptune start a brawl that causes the Krusty Krab to float in the air. Meanwhile, the game cuts to Patrick, who is also on his way to the Krusty Krab. Are there no other restaurants in Bikini Bottom? And also sees the restaurant floating. Patrick would meet up with SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Sandy, and the rest of the Krusty crew on top of the floating patty, which serves as the game's main hub area. It's here where we discover SpongeBob getting turned into a ghost, but through the power of SpongeBob and Patrick's BFF ring from the Secret Box episode, they can use a ring to swap ghostly and physical forms between each other. The game sees you controlling SpongeBob and Patrick across 5 other areas that you would unlock linearly as the story progresses, starting with Goldfish Island, where SpongeBob and Patrick at first get tricked by this fake pirate into finding Dutchman's golden treasure within the jungle, only for it to be a trap set up by the Dutchman himself. We then go to Neptune's palace, where he is hosting a gala about himself. After sneaking our way closer to King Neptune to warn him about the Dutchman approaching, with the help of Patrick rocking a mermaid outfit, the Flying Dutchman crashes the gala and both of them get into another fight once more. This fight causes our duo to land themselves into the catacombs of Atlantis City, where they escape with the help of the returning Madame Cassandra from the previous game. After safely getting back to the floating patty, SpongeBob gets the idea of defeating the Flying Dutchman and King Neptune with the help of the golden spatula. With this in mind, the Krusty crew set course to the Fry Cook Museum at Bikini Bottom, until the Dutchman and Neptune scuffle causes the floating patty to crash land onto Jellyfish Fields, which has turned into a frozen wasteland. And seeing that Sandy has joined us in our journey and crash land alongside with us, of course this leads to a callback to Hibernation Sandy as a boss fight.
Which one of you fellers is the real Dirty Dan?
I am?
Now, with SpongeBob and Patrick snapping Sandy back to normal, it is time for the final showdown against Neptune and the Dutchman at an already ruined Bikini Bottom. It's here where SpongeBob and Patrick pass through different landmarks across pocket dimensions to reach the Fry Cook Museum and retrieve the golden spatula. Many landmarks including SpongeBob and Patrick's neighborhood, the Krusty Krab, and the Chump Bucket, all in ruins. With the golden spatula obtained, SpongeBob and Patrick use the power of the spatula to not only turn themselves back to normal, no longer cursed with ghost forms, but to also swap the bodies of the Dutchman and King Neptune, which gets them to stop their fighting and demands them to fix all of the Bikini Bottom after causing so much damage, ending SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide. With the addition of Patrick becoming playable means that there's tweaks within the gameplay mechanics between him and SpongeBob, and moves that are exclusive to each of them. Like in Battle for Bikini Bottom, Patrick is the only one of the two who can carry objects and enemies to throw at them back. Thankfully, whenever you throw, it's auto-fixed thanks to a nearby reticle that shows you where you are allowed to throw. Later on, Patrick gains the ability to grapple near objects and pull down closed doors. This grapple ability is perfect against these cannonball enemies where you can throw the cannonballs back at them. It's also good for crowd control against smaller enemies. SpongeBob nearly plays the same as he was in the Cosmic Shake. From his multi-hit attack, his homing karate kick, and the bubble wand returns. Though to get the chance to use the bubble wand again, you might need to wait until the second area of the game to use it. Unlike in the Cosmic Shake, where SpongeBob can use the bubble wand ability by default, the bubble wand acts the same as the previous game where you can use it to activate switches and traps. SpongeBob can double jump and use his karate homing attack, while Patrick can do the same but instead can burrow underground on specific surfaces. Patrick can also use this burrow technique in exploration areas to find buried coins, civilians to save, and go through walls that SpongeBob couldn't. Releasing the burrow command button causes Patrick to leap out of the air, but holding the burrow button and pressing jump grants Patrick a larger air height. This height can also be gained when Patrick burrows into these geyser holes on the ground. The game also throws in several gimmicks that spice up your adventure, from these glowing lanterns that make platforms appear and disappear, these switches that SpongeBob can interact with using his bubble wand. There are a few select areas in the game where SpongeBob and Patrick are allowed to surf on these bubble surfboards, though unfortunately they can't take them with them for the whole stage for faster ground travel. Atlantis City and Jellyfish Field are the only two places where you can roll on top of these boulders, and that's pretty much it. For the majority of your adventure, you're going to encounter at least one sliding section, where SpongeBob being able to use his karate homing kick and Patrick burrowing techniques during these sections. But the most important gimmick that makes this game stand out is the ability to swap between SpongeBob and Patrick at any time. Unlike in Battle for Bikini Bottom, where the only way you can swap between characters is through bus stops. With the press of a button, you can swap between SpongeBob and Patrick for different needs of progression, and the game likes to test your reflexes on when to use who at split-second notice. Like before jumping to the next area, you need to use SpongeBob karate kick, then swap to Patrick's grappling hook to lower down a platform, then swap back to SpongeBob to use his bubble wand to bubble a switch, and getting the timing down is very satisfying. The coins you gather throughout the game can be exchanged for extra costumes for SpongeBob and Patrick to wear, though some of the costumes are locked behind DLC if you're willing to shell out a few extra bucks. Coins can also be spent on collectibles based on objects found in stages, extra underpants for extra health, a photo filter to capture moments during your next game session. Though getting all these extra goodies may seem more convoluted than it might appear, to get these, first you might find these golden treasure chests that can be found via exploration or completing side quests. Then you must hover over to the pause menu, tab over the shop menu, and then purchase your collectibles from there. Many of these golden chests you'll find from completing many of Larry the Lobster's racing side missions, which you only need to do once, as these races only ask of you to beat them before a certain time limit rather than shooting for first place. Other treasure chests contain pieces of scrap metal that you can give to Plankton back at the floating patty. These scrap metal pieces unlock several mini challenges that range from platforming challenges, catching jellyfishes, to defeating a horde of enemies. It's also here where you can find this game's boss rush mode, kinda. It's more or less a way for players to revisit fighting previous bosses after defeating them in the main story. Don't expect to find all of the treasure chests on your first playthrough, as the game doesn't give you a good map indicator on where to find any of these treasure chests you're missing, which are crucial for 100% completion, as to unlock the last batch of Plankton's challenges requires you to find all scrap metal pieces in these treasure chests. Much like the previous game, this one has in-game achievements that help you keep track of your 100% completion. I won't say what it is, seeing as of this writing I have yet to 100% the game myself, but I'm sure that there's YouTube videos out there that gladly show you the prize in the end. My final grade for SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide is an A rank. This game is almost an improvement of the formula started with the Cosmic Shake, but it's not enough to push it to a higher ranking. The inclusion of making Patrick a playable character did freshen the gameplay up, yet it is still a very short adventure that lasts like 6-7 hours on my last playthrough. Like the Cosmic Shade, the game does have a fair share of main missions and side missions to complete, yet the stage layout feels linear when it's hard to tell if I was doing side missions or not. The Larry the Lobster races were a nice distraction, and you can get side missions from other non-playable side characters. Yet the reward for completing all these missions are all the same. Just more costumes to unlock, camera filters to mess with, and pieces of underwear to collect to increase your health. There are more places to explore, yet fewer bosses to fight. You get new enemy types to face as you progress, yet all the enemies have the same behavior. I know it sounds like I'm going back and forth when it comes to giving this game its flowers and criticisms, but the truth is, I do want to see this style of SpongeBob platformer games flourish with the help of Purple Lamp Studios. Since the release of Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, Purple Lamp Studios have proven that they can create a fun SpongeBob platformer for the modern age, giving us new locations we haven't seen before and older SpongeBob platformers during the GameCube era of licensed video games. So if there's another SpongeBob 3D platformer Purple Lamp Studios have in the works, you know for sure I'll try my best to cover that game as soon as I can, whether it's for the next month of Sponge, or if not, Day of Sponge, if the game happens to release outside of May. As for other SpongeBob games I could cover, if there aren't any new ones coming out anytime soon, I have a hefty library of them I can capture footage from. Maybe we could bridge the gap and cover the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game or Truth or Square. For now, I have another video planned for the month of Sponge that I know will be challenging. I'm Christopher James, and I'll see you next time.
I got you now, Dirty Dan and Pinhead Larry.
Here we find Jellyfish Fields. Its icy beauty hides dangers at every turn for unwary explorers.
Uh-oh, guys. Ghosts!
Hang in there, Sandy. We're on our way.
We should hurry. She wasn't sounding too hot.
The mountaintop is just up ahead. I bet she's there just waiting for us.